That's what they telling me to come for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where is she? Where is she? She's telling me to come forward, come for me. See, I don't know why I finally now I just spoke my mind. I know it's not since we spoke sometime, but this thing no play, I go change your mind. Just give me some time, any place, cause I don't have no time to waste. No more back and forth, just like Aaliyah. That's all I wanna do right now. Grab it up, so you know me gonna grab it up. Body to body, make a bend up for that reeling. Bad man, turn you over like a steering. Well, when me gonna grab it up, so you know me gonna grab it up. Body to body, make a bend up for that reeling. Bad man, turn you over like a steering. But she's telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she's telling me to come for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she's telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she's telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where is she? Where is she? She's telling me to come forward, come for me.
It does kill a bit.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system since Buvak left. You don't want to change from the 4-3.
We in?
We are.
Oh yeah, we're in.
What's going on, people? We're back again on the Jerry James show for a long-awaited, happy, positive tactics board that we've been wanting to do this for so long. We wanted to break down what Liverpool have been wanting to do well, what they've been doing well on the pitch at least. But it's been so long. It's got to the point where, you know, I'm criticising Jamie Phillips's predictions. He's all screaming 2-0. I'm telling him to shut his mouth. And we've got Jamie Phillips with us, and he's got that Jordan Henderson book out. And it's...
Wait. You lot, do you recognise the host today? Who's this imposter? This ain't JJ. Who is this? I'm joking. The trim looks hard. Smash a like for JJ's new trim, man.
Yeah, big up. Big up, obviously, to everyone in the building. As always, we're going to make sure you're saluting everyone in the chat. Make sure, obviously, liking up the video. Before I shout out you, man, I've got to chat to the esteemed panel. G, Romz, Ish, and Jamie. What you guys saying, man? How you guys feeling?
Good, man.
Good space.
Same old shit, to be honest, man. Yeah, man.
What is the win, G? We've won.
No, I meant like in life. I meant like life. The same, like every day. Yeah. Oh, Liverpool.
It's like a miracle,
man. This never happens, man. So, yeah, I mean, you don't really know how to...
Same mode. You want a game. You want a game, bro.
I don't think I got the memo today. I'm seeing Romz, G, Ish wearing grey, Jamie Phillips out here wearing red. I'm black. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just out here just...
You're still mourning. You're still mourning. Sorry.
There we go. I'm still mourning, man. I'm still mourning. But yeah, big up to everyone who's going to look and get into the comments as well. Make sure we're all smashing like. We've got 26 people in the building. Let's get 26 likes just off the jump like that. We got King Cop in the building. Big up to yourself saying, I think everyone is getting too excited over the result. Like there is no hope if the lads couldn't get up for the derby. Let's talk after we string a run of performances and results. Look, I mean, I think I echo everyone's thoughts on that one. Maybe not Jamie. I think Jamie thinks we're going to win the league now, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. You got Captain Sal saying, Jerry, big up to yourself. We got Ravi in the building. Big up to Ravi. We got Keep It Level. We got Endsman TV. Make sure we're heading over to Endsman TV and liking and subscribing. We got Aleha in the building as well. Big up. Jamal in the building as well. That's a rhythm right there, Nelly voice. Big up to Jamal. We got EK in the building saying big up, folks. We got Psychedelic. Who else have we got here? Then we got JB, Cameron Elder, Aman Singh. Big up, big up, big up. We got Marion Southwood as well saying, big up, guys. Interested to hear what you have to say. Big up to yourself. And let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Jamie, I want to put out there first. I apologize. You were right. And I'm going to give you the floor. I'm going to give you the floor. I think it's only right. You get to chat to us. Just your thought review of your thoughts of the game, man.
Well, first off, it was just a lucky guess. But no, when I saw look, it all goes back from when I saw Klopp's press conference, to be honest, when he said he gave the boys 2 days off. As soon as he said that, I was like, and then he said, like, they've been happy in training. Training's been good. I ain't seen the boys this happy in a while. And I was thinking, probably because you gave them 2 days off. When you're at school and you get 2 days off at school and you go back to school and you're actually feeling all right about yourself, ain't you? Because you had a couple of days off. It's probably the same for the players. And that's why they trained well. And then I saw Everton's team sheet and I thought, dead. And then, like, they had, I don't know, a Sims character up front I've never heard of. And then I saw our bench. The bench was the best it's been all season. It's a quality bench. And then I was like, yeah, I think we're going to win this quite comfortably. It's at Anfield under the lights. Why not? And I was just glad I was proved right. Otherwise, I look like an utter div. But look, the boys put in a good performance, man. I think the first comment you mentioned, was it King Cop? Big up to you. He's right where we can't get carried away. It's relegation Everton at the end of the day. But it was a good result. It was a good result and a decent performance, and it's what this club needs at the moment. Just look, we're all smiling. We're all a little bit happier. Even the wife's in a good mood. Everything's good at the moment.
Exactly, and that's the main thing, man. But look, G, chat to me, man, because before the game, obviously, before we get deep into like why Liverpool performed so well, maybe it's basic. Who knows? We're going to look at the stats. We're going to look at the data. But you were a bit wary about, and Ish, you were as well. Number 14, your skipper, your captain, lining up in midfield. You were preaching for a certain cater, and it did look like got it right. Now in terms of personnel, he got it right this game.
He was all right. He was all right.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I don't really know how to even really answer that, man. I think we played well enough. I think that's what it was. We were able to. Everton I don't know, man. They were so weird, man. I didn't see the Everton that I saw against Arsenal. I felt like that's what I think everyone thought we was going to come up against, that Everton. So, if we came up against that Everton, would it have been a different game? Maybe. The way that they defended in that game, the way that they, moved in defensive transitions and all that kind of other stuff. But we never really came up against that. Was that because of us? I don't know, because I don't feel like we really created much anywhere in the game. But we were the dominant side in the game, if that makes sense. Like, we were the team who looked like if anyone was going to score, it was most likely going to be us when we scored the first goal with the counter attack. If they didn't score then I couldn't really see them scoring because they didn't really look like they were going to do too much kind of thing. So I felt like with Everton, I don't know, it just seemed like maybe the occasion maybe got more to them than to us. I just felt like it was like a professional job. Like, we went there, 2-0, clean sheet, everyone goes on. I felt like it was that kind of performance. And yeah, man, I think we missed that as well, man. We need those kind of performances in a general sense, man.
100%, man, 100%. Gonna check to see what the people are saying as well. We've got JB saying, look, we performed much better than as of late, but we finally had some luck with their header hitting the post and us scoring on the counter. And Romz, I want you to just chat to me about obviously a certain number 9, which I say 2-7, Darwin Núñez. Obviously, great breakaway goal. We've spoken about how Liverpool have, at their best, would score a lot of these goals within this season, and we haven't scored a lot of these goals at all. You've mentioned it a couple of times, but just going up to what JB's saying there, we could have been 1-0 down. Like
When was the header again? Rejig my memory. When was
Literally
the
right before our goal.
literally
like,
before
right
before the
seconds.
counter, the
and
cross
it
has
went
come
across
in.
goal, innit? Yeah.
No, the cross has
No, it was
come
the
in.
corner. It was the
No,
corner.
corner. Sorry, so the corner's come in. Is it Tarkovsky? Tarkovsky's
Yeah.
headed it.
Yeah,
So
hit
because
the
he headed
post.
it and it has hit the post. So it's on the line. It's hit the post. It's come out, and then Dwight McNeil's obviously had the shot cross across goal that worked great, and then they got countered on. So
Jay, sorry to cut you, bro. But even the way it fell to, who had the first? I think Nunes got it first and played to Salah, then got it back. But even the way it fell to was just mad lucky. It like P rolled out of the box, then it's just at Nunes' feet. Then it was just boom, boom, boom.
You know what?
Like we ain't had that luck for time. Normally that goes in.
And
That goes in. It's just like you see the man that walking
only
away.
ever going to score that type of goal in that situation because the way they were parking, and again, all my speeches about the coach's voice and all that went out the window. They didn't do none of that. I kept referring to it in the preview. I look like an idiot now, but we were only going to score that type of goal from that situation because the minute Salah and Darwin had space, they're both electric. But I still, even though we won the counter, because it's Nunes, I back him day and night. But because it's Nunes, I still thought he's gonna mess this up.
Bro, I thought he was gonna mess
perfect.
it up. I'm like, this brother ain't doing
pass was
nothing.
perfect.
Like,
Bro, the pass, I don't know what.
with the left foot as well, with the left
Yeah.
foot, because
Exactly.
when you're running that pace like that, he didn't like check back and slow down and then play the pass. He was running at full pelt, and that pass is easy to mess up. Easy.
Bro, it looked like FIFA. It looked like FIFA. You know when you're just running on FIFA, you can just like dink it perfectly onto the man's boot. It looked mad. Pickford.
I want just just to give him a bit of credit. There was what listen before you start laughing, we don't normally associate Nunes with this, but he had a bit of skill and technique. Remember the Cruyff turning between the two players?
Like he's been practicing and training.
What the
You downloaded new packs, bro. You downloaded new packs.
But that first turn weren't clean though. It weren't.
But he had two man either side of him. And he got out and he kept the ball as well. Normally, more time he does it and he loses the ball afterwards.
You're right.
I don't know. It's just he was feeling himself. Like James said earlier, I don't know if it's because under the lights, Derby, Klopp had to get them revved up for it, but he was feeling himself. And you already know what I think. I think eventually he'll do well. I know we're not going to get into the convo, we didn't bring him in for this money, whatnot, to not bang straight away. But I was just proud of him. Even number 11, I gave him a lot of stick. He actually beat his man more than once. I
was waiting for the messages, guys. I was waiting for the messages.
I'm not a hater, but it was best scruffy, bro. It was best scruffy. He's trying to nutmeg a guy.
Someone clean. Let's give him credit because you know me. Even if I'm on someone's back, like the Elliots, like the Salahs, they have a good performance. I'm going to give them their flowers. Bro, he was skipping past man yesterday.
Bro,
with ease.
You know why?
It weren't clean, bro. It weren't clean.
Chat to us why, Jamie.
You know why? I've been saying this since we bought him on the 1st of January, yeah? And G has been with me on my show a few times. We chopped this up. Gakpo is bought to be the number 9 for Liverpool. I know people might not like this, yeah? But I know I've been talking about it for Gakpo last week or so that I can see Gakpo being a midfielder eventually. I can just see it in his game. This false 9, it might not be for the rest of his career at Liverpool. It might just be for this season. In the moment we're in right now, it's working. And then in the summer, Klopp can try something out in pre-season to get the best out of his forward line. But right now, I understand why Gakpo plays in the number 9 position for Liverpool right now. He's the connector between midfield and attack. He's a geezer who can come in. He can come deep to receive the ball. He's good with his back to goal. He's actually very good with the ball at his feet. He keeps the ball nice and tight. He's good in small spaces. And because of that, when you're playing on that counter-attack, you've got Darwin and Mo are then old school Mane and Salah that come from wide players to inside forwards and come close, actually use the 18-yard box. They're in line with the 18-yard box the whole time. So they're in front of goal all the time. And I think that's why Klopp's been playing him there. Eventually, I think Darwin will be the number 9 next season once he gets pre-season, works how he wants his front three to play. But right now, Darwin with his pace and mobility, it suits being out on the left on counter-attacks. It suits Gakpo where he's playing. And I think it helps Mo as well, especially when we play more intensity and higher pressure. That's what I think anyway.
Do you think then, because this is actually quite an interesting kind of point that some people have put, do you think that when Diaz and Jota are back, do you guys feel that Núñez and Gakpo drop to the bench?
Yeah, I do. I think Darwin was meant to be an impact player this whole season. You know, I think that was the way he was going to play, more of an impact. You know, play 2 or 3 games here, then he might be dropped for a couple of games, then be on the sub bench, coming on. You know, slowly bring him into this team. But he's had no choice to just go, Darwin, you're going to have to play every week almost because of the injuries. And you've seen it in the 4-3-3. I don't think Darwin is not as good as a number 9 for us right now than Gakpo is, because Gakpo is doing that. You know, Darwin can't link the play in that number 9 area the way Gakpo is at the moment. He can't play as well with his back to goal as Gakpo can at the moment. Darwin wants to run into space. You saw it for the goal. He wants to get the ball, kick and run, and get into space.
Jamie,
that's where he wants to play.
Jamie, can I just interrupt there? When you say that's a bit of recency though, because Gakpo's played back to goal before last night or Monday night. Yeah. It's better than Núñez, I agree with you, but it wasn't the greatest. So I think maybe he needed this derby game to give him that confidence.
Yeah,
and now we might see a different. Yeah, we might see a different.
It was the goal. It was the goal as well. It was the goal. Sorry to cut you, Ron. It was the goal. And literally, as soon as he scored, man was doing his own cross turn. Break. He done one thing where he just burst through that whole midfield and then laid it off. I think to Núñez. And he kind of scuffed the shot a little bit. But that goal just made the whole thing just look different. He looked like a different player after he scored. But I hope we can keep it up. I just hope we can keep it up.
And you know what? Just to add to your point, JJ, when you said once Diaz and Jota come back, will Gakpo and Núñez drop to the bench? The reason why they will as well is because of the position we find ourselves in. If it was a season where we're already doing well, they could maybe keep their places based on, even if they had a good run of form, they can maybe retain their places. But because let's be honest, I know all of us, maybe Jamie, but all of us don't probably think we're going to get top 4. But
hang on, can I just ask where this confidence of Jamie is getting top 1 from? Because I've got one
word on the street is you already booked your ticket. You booked your ticket to Istanbul and the parade there as well.
I'm going to Istanbul because I need some new carpet. That's the only reason I'm going to Istanbul. But you know, no, but I get what everyone's saying though. I see something in the chat as well about Núñez being a better 9. He will be eventually. I've got no problem with that. But the way we're playing right now, the way everything is right now, I think for Darwin to play number 9 in a 4-3-3, he needs a better midfielder. He needs a better midfield behind him that's going to supply him them passes, because he's not looking to hold up the ball, link the play. He wants to play off the shoulder, like Haaland does. When you watch Haaland for City, Haaland's always looking for that run straight away. Yeah. And City don't always find him with that pass because they want to play 1 or 2 more balls first before they find him. And, Jamie, and he's always Darwin's the same thing.
That's why you're spot on with that. That's why you find Haaland dropping in recently, and everyone criticizing him. Like, why aren't you there? Why aren't you making them runs?
Because they ain't finding him.
That he's getting frustrated, and you can see it in his play. But I think Diaz and Jota, once they're fully fit, come straight back in his team. Because Klopp, obviously, the aim will still be to get into that football, and I feel he will feel they're the 2 best equipped with Salah to take us there.
If Bobby comes back, let's just talk about this season, right? If Bobby comes back, then who starts? Because right now there's not enough places for everyone on the bench either.
7. That's 7 attackers.
We got
bare attackers, bro.
We probably got the best squad of forwards in the Premier League, I'd say. But I don't know.
I think agree with that. In terms of numbers, 100%.
Yeah, if I think everyone's fit and Klopp wants. If we got a
still think City actually.
I think the Newcastle game, I don't think he changes the front 3. I think for Madrid he does.
I would keep it. I would keep it.
I think for Madrid he does. I think you see Bobby playing the 9 against Madrid because of the experience factor. But I think for Newcastle he keeps the same 3. But that's the good thing about having a squad of that depth for the forward line, that we can do that. Maybe there should be no first choice front 3.
The thing is, the problem I've got with that though is that in Klopp's system anyway, I know other managers have done that and it's worked well, but we've always done well with everyone knowing the team. It's like everyone knows their position. It's that Salah, Mane, if Bobby's playing, the midfield picks itself. The chopping and changing hasn't really worked for Liverpool. Like even and Klopp's very hesitant to do it anyway. I know we've done it because we've got injuries, but Klopp's very hesitant to do this chopping and changing all the time anyway. So I don't know how that works. I don't see how you're able to maintain that type of rhythm that Klopp wants to go and play with in terms of in the midfield and up front, whilst chopping and changing consistently, because I just don't see how you gel those players well enough. I think you might gel them, but it won't be the same as we've seen in seasons prior, where players aren't even looking to where they're passing; they're just playing passes. Now you're going to see it's going to have to be a bit more rigid in our play. So
you know what
I
it is,
think
though,
next,
like that.
I think. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I guarantee we don't have them all fit between now and the end of the season. Two will come back, and obviously we'll get injured again. The only constant, we'll just see Salah right away in the rest of the season. The other two positions, you'll see every Jota will come back in. Nunez will probably be out for 2 weeks. Like it's mad because the depth is crazy between all 6 or 7 of them. But at least I'd say 5 of them injury prone. Gakpo, I don't know, he's probably not been before, but he'll come and then they'll
he'll get injury prone. Don't worry. But do you know what I like about Gakpo and Darwin though playing together is that they can interchange their positions. So that keeps defenders on their toes as well. So, Darwin can go out into that left, Gakpo can go centrally for like 10, 15 minutes, and then them two can change. And Gakpo will be on the left, Darwin, and it gives a centre back that's marking like I've got a different. I've had Gakpo for 10 minutes, I know what he's about, and then 10 minutes later now I've got Darwin. So that's a good thing. That's why I think that Darwin-Gakpo relationship might be pretty good going forward for the rest of the season. But I think next season, next season, because of the money you paid for Darwin, I think he's going to be a first-choice striker. And I think, and because of the bonus clauses on Darwin's contract, you got to think like he's been bought to win things, so he's going to have to play. Yeah. So I think he's going to go Diaz, Darwin, Mo. I think that would be, I think that'd be his main choice front three.
Thought the bench would be Gakpo, Jota, Bobby.
That ain't bad.
but that's what I'm saying. But then it's not like our bench is getting bigger. You still need midfielders. You still need defenders. You still need a backup goalie on the bench. Someone's going to miss out because you know what I mean. You've got Elliot that plays in midfield and who can also play up front. Like, does he drop out? But I don't see that happening. Like, there's no sign of obviously Bobby leaving on a free at the moment. There are talks. I mean, it's not confirmed. There are talks apparently of a new deal. His agents come out saying that talks are ongoing. So if he gets a new deal, I just don't see where there's space in the squad for all these strikers.
Well, the right hand side, because I think Mo might leave before Bobby.
You know what? That's so fucked. That's actually an interesting discussion.
He hates that, man.
That's so mad. Like Bobby stays at this football club, but Mo of all the people in the world.
My number 9.
Who's a player we can get some decent money for to rebuild?
No, of course, no, 100%, man. 100%. It'll be Mo, man.
We've got RJ.
Sorry to cut you. No, I think it's in trouble. Just before you go and read the comment, probably my boy Cavallo. I can actually see us maybe.
Your boy Cavallo don't exist anymore.
I ain't thought about that. I ain't thought about it for a minute.
Cavallo's just a theory. Cavallo's a theory, brother. It's a theory of if we had Elliot and if he was really good and he got loads of games, he'd be this player that's internationally like renowned. Yeah, it's just not happening, bro. He's just a theory. He's become a. I mean, he just faded into.
This is what I was going to say. I don't think we'll loan him. I think we could even just sell him and cut our losses, bro. We didn't pay that much.
I think he ends up back at Fulham or like Norwich or something. A 7.5 million deal. A 7.5 million deal with add-ons.
And then we'll do that whole bit. If only Klopp utilised him, bro. He will go somewhere else and do very well.
He's a good player, but do you know who he reminds me of? Suso.
Minamino. But Suso was better. You see, I think Suso was better.
But we never had a place for him in the team. We never had a place for him in the team. We never had a place for him in the team, and he ended up leaving, and he had made a name for himself. I think when AC Milan, didn't he?
I feel like we could have used Sevilla.
100%. Remember G, and I think Romz was there. Remember we did the academy, the failures, the academy failures. Ages ago. We looked at those players, and man, he could have easily played. We got let go of him, but we kept like, who did we keep? That was just a bit mad.
It was just a weird team. Like, I remember going away to Everton and seeing Suarez, Sterling, and Suso up top.
Suso,
And I was like,
yeah.
you know what? Yo, that forward line wasn't even too bad. Like Suarez was like the dad, and these two were like his sons, and he was just like making sure that they were doing their job, but they were actually quite quality though. Like he had mad technical ability.
They were popping at that day as well. Actually,
they were
popping.
You've got pace in Sterling, just pure pace. And then Suso's got the technical ability. Suarez is the guy who links it together. That could have worked, you know.
It could have.
I swear, man, like Ben Woodburn and what's the other you? Harry Wilson.
Yeah,
I swear they outlasted Suso.
Yeah. They all
Ben Woodburn.
They might have on loan for like 4 or 5 years.
Rogers, when you deep it, Rogers was a criminal, you know.
Rogers told Brendan Rodgers told Odegaard he weren't good enough, weren't he? And he went around with.
But do you know what's mad? Do you know what Rogers did? Do you know what Rogers did? Do you know what Rogers did though? Rogers went and looked at the team and said, "You know what? I've got to make a stamp of my authority somehow." Because he was looking around and all we saw was just the remnants of Rafa Benitez's academy. Like, look at the players that were there: Danny Pacheco, Suso. Joao Teixeira, all those players, all those types of players. That's all from Benitez's regime. He was just like, you know what? He was like, stocks him. He was like, you know what? No. Let's scrap all of this. Let's just scrap all of this. Let's just get in some. I mean, my blood in there. And then
Brendan didn't want Stevie either. He didn't want Stevie in the team. He wanted him gone as well because Stevie had too much power over him.
But to be fair, like
I felt like Stevie wanted to play too much, like, and I was like,
that's the problem.
I feel like you can play that as much as you want.
I think after that season, after the season when we won the league, and the season after, because I know Stevie was there, right? Brendan Rodgers told him, look, you can stay, but we want to give you a reduced role. If Stevie really loved the club and his ego,
he would have stayed. He would have stayed.
But instead, he decided to jump the ship because he wanted to play games in the MLS.
But do you know what it is though? Rodgers did boy him a couple, like the Madrid game and the last Man United Liverpool game.
But that wasn't just him though.
He didn't utilize him in
that game.
But he didn't utilize him in the right ways. I feel like he could have. I feel like Gerrard was happy to stay that season after 15. Yeah, he was happy to stay on a reduced role, I reckon. But it's the games that he's choosing to leave him out, and the man that he's playing ahead of him. It's not like he's playing some ballers. It's man like Joe Allen playing in front of him. I'm just but do you know what's mad though is that. But then in his management career, Gerrard has come out, and I saw the interview on Sky Sports where he says they asked him, "Who are your biggest coaching inspirations or who's influenced?" And he said Brendan Rodgers. He said Brendan Rodgers and Benitez. He says a mix. The bar's not that high though. I hear it. The bar's not. But for every Rodgers and Benitez, man had a washed up Kenny and Hodgson. So
no, he loved Kenny.
In your Liverpool career,
loved Kenny.
But let's talk like tactically, bro. On the training ground, you know Kenny's just talking about flipping 84 and them times there. Like it ain't a tactics thing. So it really only had because even Houllier, God rest his soul, even Houllier, he was like Houllier was a man manager. Houllier wasn't like a tactician either.
Man's talking to them about. I don't know if you guys see the documentary about the brick wall at Melwood in the training ground.
You see all of that.
And they used to play squash. They used to play squash against that for training. I hate to get the picture. It's crazy.
No tactics, bro. No tactics, bro.
Go back to your roots.
Big up Kenny. But yeah, that weren't it.
Oh yeah, crazy. It was gonna get obviously. So RJ, big up to RJ. RJ saying, look, did you guys notice that always one of the mids stayed with Fab when the other went forward to protect our defense?
I don't like that, by the way.
We did, but you know what? We're gonna get into it. We've got JB. We got JB saying if their header goes in, it could have been a different game.
The Gakpo one, because Gakpo had a header before that. A few yards out in front of the goal that he put wide.
Yeah. True. Allow, thank you with the super sticker. Appreciate it. Captain Sal saying Hendo needs to improve his hoofs, make them count. That first time cross into the box. Do you what's mad about it? Shall I tell you what's mad about it?
I was trying to be nice. You remember bringing Hendo. I was trying to be nice.
But listen, shall I tell you what's mad about that first time cross? You see that first time cross.
He was silent.
The angle he's hitting it at is fine, but it goes so high up. The player can't generate any pace, any power. It's like he wants the brother to hit the Zidane volley from the Champions League final. We're just watching it. Boom. Like,
comes.
add some curve where he can meet it. Like let the player meet the cross. It's putting into the air. It's like as your touch. It's like he's
It's not even the thing is though, it's not even back stick. It's not even back stick, bro. It's like it's just high and up, bro. It's just up. There's no even like it doesn't even go that far, bro. It doesn't even go to the edge of the box.
It's killing me, yeah. Do you remember about during the World Cup we did a stream and you mentioned it and we were laughing at the time? You know what killed me? When JJ asked you how do you see the game at the start of this stream, when you're like, it's all right. I knew you were thinking in your head, but that cross wasn't.
I know he's gonna do same position every time. He gets the lay back from Trent, and he just hits it. He don't even look. He don't even scan or nothing. Bro, just hits it.
And I think it just does his foot just does this. It just
what bugs me about him, is that this isn't like it's not like it's Trent doing that. So we know, Trent can he can play a pass, he can put a cross, bro. Like you're not notorious for like putting in bare crosses.
Who told him to do this? Who told him he could do that?
Sorry to interrupt you. He's notorious for putting in loads of crosses.
Oh, sorry,
he's not of a quality. He plays so many of them crosses.
And I'm just like, why? Like you're not a good You're not really a good technical player. Like I don't need you to do that. And the way you're doing it as well, we definitely don't need you to do it that way, bro. So why are you doing it at all? And he does it all the time. But
there's not even anyone in the box more time. That's what gets because on the one part, the technique is just abysmal. But secondly as well, not even if the box is packed, I can understand it. You could be like, he's just trying to find somebody. But more time, there's not even anyone in the box. So I'm just like, whose tactic is this?
Do you know what's mad about Hendo? Like, do you know what's mad about the whole Hendo thing? When Hendo plays well, Liverpool win. It's as simple as that. And Hendo, forget what he does on the ball so much all the time, but it's his pressure and his pressing and the intensity he plays with. I thought he was excellent the other day. I thought he was really, really good. Yeah,
he was good.
And good. I think he's what he does for that. Like Klopp said it after the game, we missed that. And usually when Liverpool play well, Hendo's played well as well at the same time. There is something in it. But I do get what you say about his crosses, that they do come down with snow. There's no doubt about it. But, I thought his game the other day was excellent. I thought he was excellent personally.
No, but, you know what? In terms of the pressing, I've got to say, I mean, we're going to get into the stats, but you've got to say, if anyone was a catalyst in that midfield, he was one of them, to be fair. From the front, like, we know Núñez isn't great at pressing, and we're going to get into it. We know Salah's not been great at pressing, but it's like he said, you know what? If you guys aren't going to do it, I am. And he forced a lot of those mistakes and just done long passes and just forced
when he bodied Pickford.
Well. Yeah.
I was like, that movement style. I was like, he's still got it in you, Hendo. He's still got that dog in you, Hendo. But he was good. But the thing is, this is how. Sorry, Rob, just quickly. This is how I want him to be used, isn't it? Like every 2 to 3 games, just coming in. Like when he's not rinsed every game, and you're not seeing him getting shown up by the likes of like McAllister and them, man. He can actually still offer something to the squad, but it's on Klopp to use him properly. But
so when he's against good players, he shouldn't really be in the mix. But when he's against like Everton,
I said what I said, bro. Play him to his level, isn't it? Play him to his level. Big games, derbies, passion games.
This is why it's indeed that. You get a lot of them emotional reds that he can't be at the club at all. I've never once said I want him sold. I've always wanted him as a squad player or to bring that spirit.
Yeah. He can definitely be a squad player.
Because you'll get some reds saying, no, you just shouldn't be at the club. It's like, bro, like, come on, use some logic here. That I'm not saying he has to be in the starting 11. Not saying he has to be in the starting 11 at all. But we do need him as a presence in... He needs the Milner role where we hardly see him, but we see him here and there. That's what we need Hendo
Ish, I'm not going to lie. The man them in the chat are getting on to you right now.
Yeah, it's staticky, ain't it? Static.
Yeah, they're saying, Mark,
what's it saying?
Ish, your mic is underwater. They're saying, Ish, tell him to sort his mic out. They're saying, yo, your mic is mashed up. Yeah, they're saying that mic is back from Melwood 1972, bro. You know that?
Hendo tried to fuck with my thing, bro. What's it saying now?
It's staticky.
Did you not hear what they're saying? That I thought Ish's mic was calm through the whole thing.
Bro,
what's wrong with it? What's wrong with you, bro?
But what's it saying now?
Still the same.
Oh, look at that! Raw, even a letter saying £1 super chat each to buy Ish a new mic.
Hey, we're trying to help you out, my guy. We're trying to, you know what I mean? We're trying to help you out, my bro. You see, like with Liverpool, and I think obviously when we get into stats and all of that, right, man said, yeah, let me just duck and come back. You see, like when we get into the stats, I guess we'll see it. And I think that's what I was thinking about, like after the game it's so weird because you get a game like we had against Everton, but I promise you play like that against Real Madrid, you'd lose 100%. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's just not going to work because what they are going to possess, they'll pick us off in moments where Everton probably should have done a little bit more in attacking areas. That's what Real Madrid are good enough to just
Great example. You see Sims, you see early on the runs he was going and making. If Benzema made those runs, the end product of the pass or the end product of the shot would have caused issues, and we would have been like Matip. That first, we're going to get into it.
That was fucked.
Matip, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to say. This is my brother, but right now he's in the dumps. He's in the. You see, you got different levels of clubs, right, and different levels of these. Right now, he's in the bottom barrel one somewhere in Ibiza, some dirty Ibiza. There's a pole there. It's one pole fits all. And it's him and Joe Gomez just doing whatever over there. Because right now, it's crazy what's going on.
Matip's watching. Yeah.
You've been a centre back here. Even you would probably admit he was worse than Gomez on Monday night.
No, facts. He was. That's why I haven't said anything about Gomez in that game. I haven't. I've said Matip. I'm like, Jesus.
Matip was dead. Matip was watching the fattest stripper he's ever seen and enjoying life. You know what I mean? He was throwing coins at the sod. You know, he was
coins, splitting the skin. You know, like as the coin hits, it just
don't get hit by a coin, bro.
I don't know what I really
have you ever had a 50p dashed at your head in a scramble?
Yeah.
Have you
know what Matip reminds me of? You ever drunk a bottle of Calpol, right? That's what Matip was playing like the other day.
Yeah, you have a little taste right.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a fiend, man. Anytime I was like, I was looking in the cupboard. And like, there's nothing sweet. I'd be like, you know what? Let me see this cowboy. I'd open up. I was drinking lean back when it was even popular, bro. You see the safety. You see the safety nozzle that say don't pour out too much. I used to pop that thing open. Back half.
A tiny buzz off the Calpol. I don't know what Matip was playing. That first 15 minutes, him and Fabinho. That first 15 minutes, they're like afraid of the ball. I don't know what's happened to Matip.
Fabinho grew into the game though. He started doing.
Yeah. I think Matip grew in the game as a little bit.
I think
that first 15 minutes, they were like, I don't know what we're doing on the pitch.
But it's weird. But it's weird with Matip because he came in like. He was poor defensively, but then going forward, he's the one who created the first chance for Liverpool. You drove through it and found.
Yeah. Mad, don't it? Yeah, the feet on the ball can never be, but
we're gonna delve into it. But we've gone 38 minutes and not given the main man his flowers. Bajcetic, we're gonna go into it, but
no, we are. But I want to give a special, special shout out about him. So yeah. Amirali, big up saying, I like to see VVD come back against Newcastle.
I think we all know.
Aaron Tavares saying, how is Pickford England's goalkeeper? God knows. We got Endsman TV saying, G, next time give the man some credit, and obviously send a super chat as well. Big up to Endsman. Make sure we're obviously heading over and subscribing to Endsman family, obviously member of the channel as always. So big up, appreciate it. And guys, make sure, I believe it's today at 10 p.m. We've got the day after podcast.
Yes.
Savage. I believe it's today. So please make sure we're heading over there as well. Hit up Endsman TV on Instagram or Twitter as well, and he'll definitely direct you into the right place.
I'll never give this manager credit, bro. So just let it live.
To hear Koreshi saying, how are we celebrating this win when the same players are injured every season since we bought them? How many games have they missed? This is why we are not challenging ever. This season, at least, you got a point. You got a point with the injuries. Mac LFC saying, "Yo, JJ and the Jamie G and the other guy." I think he's playing on last week. Yeah, no. I think he means both of you because I remember last week he said Jay, do you know what I mean? He said, and the other guy, and you were like, who's the other guy? So I think he's playing again. So big up.
Matt.
I was just saying, I was immensely pleased about the clean sheet that was needed for the entire team, especially the defense and the midfielders. Good vibes. Facts. I think having a clean sheet is really important, but obviously we're going to get into that. Alaa again saying, keep it up, guys. So proud of a massive super chat. So big up.
Thank you.
Appreciate it as always. Mo Fawaz saying, the difference on Monday night was the tactics. Fabinho and Bajcetic played in a double pivot while defending, and whilst attacking, they almost stayed as a two with Bajcetic going forward in moments. Yeah, definitely we're going to talk about it. Aman Singh saying, Jamie spitting facts. They're loving Jamie spitting. We've got Kalonji who's just beefing us today, G and Romz and Ish. He's saying, look, let's not. You guys are the worst. You guys are worse than Chelsea fans. No praise needed. You guys talked a lot of crap.
And I'll be talking crap the next week. Don't get twisted, you know. Like Liverpool are shit. Don't think that we beat Everton. I still think we're
listen, it was crazy.
Have I missed something? What was that about?
I don't know, but do what's mad though? I don't get. You know, like in the grand scheme of things, it was a good performance. We're going to get into it. But the team's in the relegation zone. Like
in ninth, you know.
It doesn't matter where you are. How are we talking about going to the bottom of the Picks League? They're coming to our turf, and that type of victory.
Don't get twisted, man.
Yeah, come on, that should be expected, man. Indian Scouts, I big up to Indian Scouts.
Big up lads, smash the likes. To stop you there. No, you know what? I actually have to back the top Reds here. Call me top Romz at the moment, yeah. The reason why we should celebrate this because look at the teams that we have lost to that have been lower than Everton. The Forest is early in the season, the other team. So maybe we should...
Romz, we're in the mud if we're celebrating the fact that we're losing to teams who are lower than Everton.
No. Romz.
You're in the mud, bro.
No, what? Bro, imagine you were getting, yeah, do you think you could, let's say in school, right? You were getting A's and B's calm, right? A's and B's calm. You started getting U's consecutively. Your parents are mad at you. You think a D is going to cut it? You think get a D is going to cut?
But this season in particular, because we've been so bad, this one win we should, I don't know, not get gassed over, but celebrate maybe for a few days. Do you know what I mean?
What? Do you want to book a table? Celebrate. Celebrate book a table.
Jerry, I tell you what, when I got a D in school, my parents gave me a harvester meal. That's how proud I was of me.
You know what it is? You know what it is? I think I was saying this to someone. I was like,
what is this? Harvester used to slap that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Harvester, like, I wouldn't even discredit
it. Should I tell you, I've never been to Harvester. I've never been. Yeah,
it's all right.
Harvester's all right, but Beefeater's better. But there you go.
Oh, shit. I've never even been to
Beefeater. I've never been to a Harvester.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to try Woolwich Beefeater. Woolwich Beefeater. I'm going to try that.
Yeah, that's the one I go to.
There you go.
My missus can hear me. My missus can hear me. Woolwich Beefeater. That's the next date night. I don't know if you're going to lie. It is what it is.
It's actually all right in there. Just don't look out the window because you've got the shit hole of Woolwich right across the road.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've got to face the other way. You've got to face the nice way.
You got to go that way. You got to eat that way.
JJ, she might be like, I'm used to this nice food. What's all this dry roast?
Dry roast, man.
Go
on, we get to gravy. I think she'll like it though. We'll see. Lad Bird saying our full attack available will be rotated based on opponents. Gakpo was always going to be Bobby's replacement as the false nine who play behind Núñez next season.
So what happens to Diogo Jota? What happens to Roberto Firmino? Like, there's bigger man that we are playing in these positions. You know, that's crazy.
King Cop saying, I disagree. I think Núñez is a better 9. I just don't think we have the patterns of play to suit him. I agree with that, to be fair. I agree with that. We've got Voice of Reason, big up to Voice of Reason saying, why is Klopp signing counter-attacking profile players then insisting on this possession game? It's mad. That's actually a really key point. We've actually played well in this game because we almost played a counter-attacking game because it was going to be end-to-end anyway because it was a derby. But if they had just sat back and said, you know what, we're not even pressing this at all. Like we can't have broken it. Our two goals came from breaks. Like it came from being counted on. It wasn't. It was not like we broke them down and it was like, oh, you know what? Like we're just tearing them to pieces. They gave us those opportunities through like poor defending. Like they could have made so many fouls in the lead up to both goals to like just curb what was going on, and it was a bit naive in my opinion. So you're right. Chiara saying, "Ma quanto sei figo con." Yeah. So saying, let's see if my Spanish. This ain't Spanish. I don't think it's Italian. Wait. Let's see if my A-level Spanish gets me through Italian. Yeah. I'm liking.
Oh, you don't understand what that says, Jerry?
Come on. No. I'm liking your hair. I'm liking your haircut. But big up for that. This one I understand. Saying, "Hola Jerry G, Ish, Jamie, and Romz. Love the channel. Like salute." So big up from Chile. Big up from Chile, man.
Jerry, did you just use A-level GCSE Spanish to read Italian? Because that's amazing.
Well, GCSE no. Well, A-level's higher, but I've done GCSE and A-level Spanish. So
big up you, man.
And obviously the missus from Colombia. So yeah, the Spanish I've got on lock. I've got on lock. Ilyas saying, big up to Ilyas for the super chat as well. Much appreciated. Love. Without new ownership, I don't see how we compete. Yeah,
how did we compete last time, man?
Yeah, it is difficult as well. Ish Mac LFC, he started the pot. The donations have opened up, saying, "Ish, stop scratching your sack with the mic." £2. Thank you for the donation.
I said, stop scratching your sack.
Hey JJ, run me that £2, yeah. Run me that £2.
Yeah. Go.
I'll give you them ones though.
Send me the ones though.
Hey, am I still sounding mad, by the way? Is it all right? Is it patterned up?
No. It's cool now. It's cool.
All right, say that.
Quick ones before we kind of get into the tactics, people. Make sure we're smashing like there's 88 people in the building. If we could get 88 likes, that'd be amazing. Big up to everyone tuning in. Saying Victor Jomo saying, if Trent was playing an attacking role like a right midfield role, we would get much more from Trent than him playing in defence at right back, and playing like him should be playing an attacking role. I don't think so, because he'd have to play back to goal, and I don't like compare Bajcetic, Bajcetic's ability on the ball to Trent's in terms of ability on the ball, like dribbling, turning out of trouble. It's far superior. There's a reason why if Trent was that good, he wouldn't have broken in as a thing. He would have just broken in as a midfielder. Our midfield weren't that great.
Trent played midfield. Trent will get rushed, bro. Trent will get rushed. Whether it's right wing, centre mid, he will get rushed. His awareness is not good enough.
I hate that notion because some Reds will tell you, but because Klein got injured, he had to fill in that right back role. But if he was good enough, they would have noticed his qualities and eventually then moved him into that midfield. I hate that notion.
He's an attacking player at right back anyway, so.
Yeah. We got Albert saying, we effing won. We kept a effing clean sheet.
That's what I'm saying, Albert.
I'm terribly excited. I see another Newcastle win. He goes on to say, we lost to Nottingham Forest, Leeds and Wolves. And who says we can't celebrate a win over Everton?
I think we can do Newcastle. Don't forget, Newcastle got a cup final the weekend after. They might have one eye on, so.
And Almiron's wrist, he might be out because of his.
Yeah, that wanking wrist is fucked, isn't it? So.
Well, I can't. He needs to man up. Just wrap that. You don't rest this dude. Just
the body, bro.
Hold on.
Sitting on the bed like that.
He could just get a splint. He could just get the body.
Exactly.
His body had.
Bro, I played football with a splint for like 2-3 months. Like it's calm.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Just when you fall, it's mad. When you're about to fall, you kind of want to like move your arm out of the way, and then your other arm gets.
I've just seen someone with that anxiety, like like if he hears that Man City are pulling up or something, and something in him's telling him I'm not going to have a good game. It's like he's just not going to play. Especially now, because this must be so precious for him. Do you know how long he was bad for after being so good in America? He's like, no, I need to be careful. Like, I'm on course to, get a couple bonuses. I might get a contract extension. Do you know what I mean? Like, I might get into team of the season. I need to just be calm. So, we got King Cop, and this is going to be the last comment before we obviously head over and look at the stats. So make sure we're obviously still smashing like. So, and King Cop, big up, because this is what we've been talking about for the longest. Before you watch the Jerry James show and you hop on the live, you watch GTV, because GTV gives you an insight into what we're going to be talking about. And lo and behold, King Cop's done it. He said, look, I was watching GTV earlier, and I think G was saying, does Bajcetic form mean we need one less midfielder in the summer? Was just wondering what's the rest of the panel's view on this. You know what? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Bajcetic for a bit, and then we'll actually get into the stats. What a performance from Bajcetic. G, start us off. Does this mean, look, it's not Bellingham and Matheus Nunes or Bellingham and Enzo Fernandez that we're supposed to get. It's just Bellingham now, isn't it?
I think. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, because we got Bajcetic, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we were spoken about it in the group chat. We know how Klopp likes to work. So for me, he'd be a 6 squad player for next season. Like that'll be a good option to have on the bench against teams like Wolves if they start like those kind of teams. Bajcetic can play in those kind of games, FA Cup games, League Cup, shitty Champions League games. I don't mind throwing him in, but I think when for where we're trying to be, I think that's where you got to look at it is because if he starts next season as the main guy, then you're saying you're like Arsenal of like 3 years ago, where you're like, yeah, well, let's just play all these youngsters. And that's the level that we're at the moment. And we still need to now get to this kind of stage. Obviously, I'm not trying to discredit him. I thought he played well. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's at that level yet where there's way better players out there that I would prefer to see in our midfield, who I think we're even linked with, that he would just be a sick option to have, though. Like someone to just come in, in every now and again kind of thing. I just don't really want to put this ain't Mbappe, this ain't Pedri, this ain't Gavi, like that kind of quality you gotta just play because of the level that they're already at those kind of tender ages. I feel like with him, he just needs a bit more time, just in and around players like your Thiagos and stuff like that, and then boom, maybe when Hendo leaves, I don't know when his contract ends, but let's say that season that Hendo leaves, that following season, that's what I'm looking at. Like Bajcetic is like, all right, well, now it's kind of like your time where you can come in and play and do this, that, and the third, or take Henderson's position in terms of the squad status and stuff like that. But I like him though. I do like him, and I think he's a dope player. I think probably the best one we've had in that academy for time.
Just to add to that, something me and you have alluded to a lot, G, over the last few weeks. He's been picking up these early yellows. Now, if there's a game I thought he would pick up an early yellow,
yeah, we said it before the game.
It is this derby game, and he didn't. He was quite disciplined because what that does, we've all played football. Yeah, I didn't pick up a lot of yellows. I have my money on JJ and Jamie. I feel like when you two kick through, I feel like you got that early yellow, the both of you.
For me,
yeah,
I'm an early yellow. Nah, man, nah. An early yellow. What you saying?
I'm calling you Jerry Catamel. That was you, bro.
Catamel.
But you know what it is, yeah?
I love a first time through ball in it. No look, just round the corner. Do you know what I mean? Is that like Hendo?
Yeah. But you know the early yellow, it just makes you cautious that you have to do everything quite conservative once you get that. So the fact he didn't get it in the magnitude of this game, I was proud of him, and it enabled him to do what he wanted to do. Because now if he picks up that yellow late, you can bring on a I forgot who's even on our bench. Was Milner on our bench?
Well, there was no one on the bench. That's why you couldn't even remember.
Flacco came on. Flacco did come on, didn't it?
Flacco started.
No, he started. Right, yeah, he started. Fucking hell, yeah.
You know, if he gets that yellow late, and because one thing I clocked out.
No, Milner did come on.
Yeah, like if he does get tired or he gets that yellow, then Milner can come on, kind of thing. But I think he was top quality, and even that interception he made, he might have even skipped past a player, and then we were breaking. Me personally, I think he had an amazing game. I think he should have played Jota in. I know Jota was making a run from more deep, but I feel like Jota.
Jota's on the left, isn't it?
And I think he makes that 3-0, but he played it to Salah, and obviously we know Salah's an elite finisher, but I feel like the defender was too close to him.
I was going to ask you, everyone, like the whole panel, and even people in the chat, if Fabinho wasn't so shit this season, do we even see Bajcetic?
No.
So that's why I look at
he fell on him.
And I think that's why I look at it and I think he wouldn't make. I'm not trying to discredit, because like I said, I think he's a very, very good player. He's just not ready yet, though. He's not that kind of player that I'm looking at and thinking. I saw the reports today about, we might Klopp's looking to make him like a key figure basically for next season. I was like, this is where you go wrong with certain things, is because you're letting form cloud the judgment that you do have currently. Liverpool are so shit that anybody coming through, we said it at the beginning of the season, everyone's talking about Elliott. Elliott's on the bench these days. I don't even see Elliott now.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? How form has just changed. Bajcetic has overtaken now that kind of midfield position slot, regardless of, whatever. He's now playing left central midfield. He's playing in the 6. Like, he's doing it all now kind of thing. So I almost feel like Klopp's almost clouding that judgment. Again, we'll wait and see in the summer. But that's what I was going to ask everyone is like, do you just think it's a case of a mixture of both? He is a quality player, but because we are so shit, we're maybe overhyping it a little bit too much in regards to where he's actually at with his ability when you're comparing him to the dross that we've actually got here anyway.
You know what I would say?
I think that Elliot.
Like, look at Foden. Foden's a fixture in that team. Look at the ballers that he was playing with. Like, look at the people around.
He was in and out.
No. But that's the point. That's the point. Is that he's still. But and now look at him. You'd say he's a first team player. However, Man City kind of do their kind of thing, and you're not even thinking he looks out of place within that. And he came into the start like he came into Manchester City around ballers. It wasn't overawed. Wasn't like, oh shit, man, there's all of these, these kind of players, Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho, now Rodri. You know what I mean? Like all of these ballers in and around of what you're doing, and you're still a player who Pep Guardiola would still trust in certain games. Like he had to go through that anyway. But whereas Bajcet's obviously coming in, the team's so dead. Like it's sick for him though. Don't get twisted. Like for him, that's dope. You could just come in and do your thing, and now we're looking at Fabinho a bit sideways. But at the same time, you've come into a setup where everyone is shit and the team needs a rebuild. When we get that rebuild, where do you fit into it now? I'm just worried we're going to fuck up his development.
Salah,
what? Go on.
I was going to say, Salah even said it himself in the post-match. He was like, bro, since this guy's come in, he's been our best player. But Salah, you could tell he looked a bit embarrassed. He was like, bro, I can't actually think of anyone who's been better than you. So that kind of says it all. But going back to the point you were saying about, are we overcooking it a little bit, or is it just because he's playing in this shit? I think it's a bit of both. Like, he has been good. I'll give him his props. He actually has been good. He's not really put a foot wrong. Even in the games where we've been shit, like the Chelsea game, nothing was really going on the whole game. But actually, he was standing out as a player who was doing his bit. But I think going into next season, it depends where Klopp sees him. If it's a 6, I don't know if I want an 18-year-old as good as he is. I don't know if I want an 18-year-old as my starter number 6. Like that's a key position for us as a team that plays 4-3-3. For him to be our lone number 6 at 18 years old, bro, I'm not sure about that. And then if he gets injured, we're one injury away from playing Fabinho again. Then we're back to square one. So if Klopp's thinking about not addressing this position in the summer,
Klopp,
I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you like that.
I think with Stefan, I look at him and I think Klopp got a bit lucky, with him coming into the team because he had no other choice, and he's obviously got quality. He's obviously got quality. We can all see that from a mile away. He's the way I'm like everyone's talking about like how many midfielders do we need now because Stefan's going to be a permanent fixture. If we look at it, Stefan weren't part of the conversation at the beginning of the season. So Klopp might be looking at it and thinking, now I have got another new midfielder. So that is an extra midfielder I got in there now.
Like a new sign.
And if you're going to buy it, if you're probably
this.
That smile when G said that, like a new signing. That's a smile that Klopp would do as well. He'd look at the players and be like, guys,
you look away first and you start smiling.
If you think about it, though,
to come back as well. Word to G. Morton will be a part of the plan.
Yeah, but if you think about Stefan, he's just a youth player. He weren't part of the setup at all. He just got lucky with him. So now he is in the squad. He is an extra midfielder. You're probably looking at Liverpool might look at it that they save £40 million on a midfielder. You know what I mean? Because it could be that £40 million midfielder Liverpool been looking for. You're right. He can't play the 6 in this Liverpool team. If we want to go to where we want to go, he has to be the player that plays next to the 6. Like he did
the genie.
He has to do that genie role, and he possibly could do that genie role. He could be the genie replacement for me. Mm-hmm. The way I look at him play, the way he's a lot stronger than people give him credit for. Everyone said he was going to get annihilated against Everton's big 3 midfield. He was the one actually.
He was flying into some tackles.
He was flying into them. Our first goal was because of him. He's the one who blocked it down in the box and knocked it forward. And went on from there. He's got a bright future. There's no doubt about it. Obviously he can't. It has to be. If we get 2 midfielders in and then there's a Stefan, that's 3 midfielders better than what we got right now. So I'm happy with Stefan being part of the squad. He just can't be. You can't burn him out either. You can't burn him out. You can't go, right, Stefan, you've been so good. You're a first teamer all the way next. He's 18. He's got to be in and out, learning his trade, doing the right thing. But he's definitely part of the first team squad going forward now. No,
That's what I want.
Yeah, he's taking over like Curtis Jones's and his stuff like that. They ain't getting in front of him. They ain't getting in front of him. So he's going to be, you know, if Liverpool are looking to have, I don't know, 7 midfielders next season when a lot of them leave, and they're trimming it down to like 7 midfielders next season, he's part of the squad. You know, he's going to play some games. He'll be on the bench for some games. Games he'll miss out the squad. That's the way it's going to go.
Think of this, Jamie. Yeah, I sent it to these guys in the group earlier on. Henderson, Elliott, Thiago, Tyler Morton, Bajcetic. How much is that now? I think we're on 5. Yeah, that's 5.
Bajcetic, yeah, 5. Yeah.
Add in Jude Bellingham, maybe. That's 6.
Jude's going Chelsea, isn't he?
We'll wait and see. Who else is there? Curtis Jones, if he stays, that's 7. Where do we sign more? Oh, Fabinho, we don't even know if he's staying or going. We don't know what Pop wants to do with that. If Fabinho goes, then we're in the same position because then you've only still got 1 6. If you keep Bajcetic in there, if you're saying Bajcetic's going to be the guy, you're in the exact same position because then you've only got 1 player to play in that position, like we had before he got into the team. So then it's like you're still going to be thin moving forward. Forget even Ox, Keita, Milner, even if they bounce. Heck, even if Curtis Jones goes as well. The problem that you're going to have, and that's why I say with Bajcetic, is that I just want his development to be good, and I think that you're going to have to go one of 2 ways in the summer. You're either going to have to loan him out so that he just continues playing somewhere, or if you do keep him in and around, it's going to be a bit tricky because is he going to play? Or are you going to put that much faith in him?
That's what it has to. Well, that's what it has to be now, because we spoke about it a lot, because we speak about obviously the academy and the academy's not good enough and stuff, which it isn't. I agree, but Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Martinelli, all these types of players only emerge in the team because Arsenal were poor.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if Arsenal weren't poor, they're not emerging in the team. Like Bellingham only becomes Bellingham, not because of what he's doing at Birmingham. He was doing all right at Birmingham. He weren't pulling up any trees. Like he weren't like
at Birmingham. He could never pull up any trees.
But that's my point. That's my point. They went and took a gamble on this player and said, you know, we're going to go and take a gamble because we see a lot of potential. But what did they do? They didn't just give him a couple minutes here and there. They just played him. You see, that's the way it's going to work. So with Bajcetic, you've got 2 ways in which you go. You can loan him out. But what you do, essentially, when you're loaning him out, is saying, we have no control now over what position he plays in, how that environment is, what happens within this season, which can all affect how his progression goes, because they'll look at that and they're not going to really care about his development. They just want the player. They just want the player and the ability. If he's not performing, we're bringing in whoever to go and play because we need to scrap to get through this relegation patch that we're in, or we need to try and get into the top 4 or top 10 or whatever club that he goes to. For me, he plays. For me, the only way you go and see if he's good enough or not is that you tell him now, you're the starter. You're the starter, and it's your shirt. Someone's got to take it off you. That's the only way. And then if he can't handle that, then you know he's not good enough for Liverpool, if that makes sense. Like, even if he's a good player, you then know he's not good enough for Liverpool. But
you test him.
So then what do you then do in the summer? Do you then still sign? Because remember, we have to think everything you're saying, we have to think of that. 100%, and I agree with. But then, what do you then say? Remember, Liverpool got to think whilst the transfer windows go in. Also, whatever their I don't know what.
Yeah, I think targets are. I think if you,
I think only Hendo and Thiago stay. Everyone else is up for grabs, in my opinion. In this midfield right now, I think Jurgen Klopp looks at it and thinks Hendo and Thiago are his 2. Stefan's a youngster, Harvey's a youngster, and everyone else is up for grabs.
I think there's a difference. The reason why I think there's a difference, right, is because the fact that Bajcetic has played in the 6 and he's played in midfield by himself, when we could have played Hendo in the 6, we could have just carried on playing Fabinho. Heck, we could have even went and played Thiago in the 6, right? We could have if you said Thiago's going to play in the 6 and we're going to play them further forward. He's going to play them in the 6. As Ish said, that's a very, very important role in the Liverpool team. So that suggests to me that the importance, and yeah, I agree, he stumbled upon it. Bajcetic was never part of the plan. That was just a brother that was in the academy. but he's gone and seen and said, you know what, this player's performing like this. This is what you can offer. The fact that he's playing in those positions suggests to me he's actually ahead of Elliott in the pecking order at the moment. Because I don't see with Bajcetic the role that he plays. You can't go and give him odd minutes here and there, because ultimately, if he's that good now to be playing week in, week out as a 17-year-old in the DM of a Liverpool team, right? And you've got all these other options, we could have done everything. Klopp could have. Remember when we had our centre backs injured? What did Klopp do? Klopp went as far as going and putting our midfielders at the back because he didn't trust our centre backs. He didn't do that this time.
But then that then showed the level. Then that's my point. Is that you're like and this is what I'm saying. It's why it's so tricky, man. And guys, I want people to know I think he's a dope player. Yeah. But remember, we're saying put Henderson in 6. He can't play the 6. We can't play it well. Fabinho off form. The only real one you're looking at is probably going to be maybe. Basically, you're trying to just put anyone there because they can play midfield, but none of them are actually number 6s. Whereas he is a full. Like, he's an actual 6 in a natural position, and he does possess the quality. But is it because everyone is that shit? Like we said before, no one thought here that Bajcetic was going to play this amount of games.
Yeah, I know, but exactly. But that's my point. That's what I'm trying to say. So when we had the injuries in our defense, when we were trying to retain the title, we had injuries to our centre backs. We had fully fledged centre backs sitting on the bench that played that centre back. That was their main position. Klopp opted to do everything in his power to go and not do that. He played midfielders there. He done this. If Klopp was so adamant that Bajcetic wasn't that good, this would have been that he would have went and put Trent there. He would have went and put Matip in DM because Matip's going to play there. He would have went and grabbed the Milner and played him in a 6 and just ran that. He would have done everything. He hasn't done that. And actually opted and said, you know, this 17-year-old, bear in mind, 17, you're going to go and play. 18.
There's a lot of the amount of trust you have to have.
As a six, because especially the way we're playing, he's having to cover the likes of your Trent, the likes of your Elliott. Yeah. Think about what was expected of Fabinho, how important Fabinho was. To go and play that player there in that position for me suggests that you're right. It goes one of two ways. You either loan him out, but then you can't control which direction he's going to go in, or you go and play him in the same environment that he's in because he's thriving in the environment right now. But the problem is that. If you're right, you've got to gamble now. Do Liverpool want to go all out and say, you know, we're going to win right now? Or do they go through this development period where they have this Declan Rice? Yeah, exactly. When they've got this Declan Rice player and they're like, you know what, we're just going to chuck our hopes on this Declan Rice and see what he becomes. But you're going to get inconsistency. But you're going to go and get games where he's Bellingham did at Dortmund. Yeah.
I would sell Flacco and then just get another 6 that can compete with Bajcetic. Sign him, and if he plays well, if he plays well, he can start.
But the thing is, that's the problem. That means you're selling a player like Fabinho. You're going into the market to get a player that's going to have to be subpar Fabinho at his best. It's going to have to be subpar because you don't. Because if he's too, because what G's saying is that if we go to the market, because one second, if G's saying we need to go to the market and get a player. You need to get the best of the best. There's no point in going into the market and getting a Sander Berger to compete with.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. You need to go and get the best. You need to get and play it this way. If Liverpool
had got
Tchouaméni, but think about it. If Liverpool had gotten a Verratti or whoever or Tchouaméni or whatever deal, Casemiro, Bajcetic is not seeing the pitch at all.
Exactly.
No. So then what happens to his development? So you have to either loan him out or, you know what I mean?
You know what it is, guys?
Unless he develops in the 8, though. Unless he develops in the 8. Because I'll be real.
He will.
He done more in that game than Thiago's done in the last 6-7 games, and that's
Thiago.
But they both do different things, though. I think when we look at Thiago, we got to remember Bajcetic is not a luxury player. He's a player clearly has quite a lot of industry in the way he plays. Thiago was never ever industry. He had to learn that just coming to Liverpool kind of thing.
Yeah,
whereas Bajcetic already seems to have just had it in him anyway. But I look at Bajcetic and I think to myself, I feel like he can play the 8, but I feel like you're the type of player that you could be like a Busquets in that sense of I don't need you just tackle when I need you to tackle. Don't be tackling all the time.
You don't need to be.
And you're so good at getting into position, because going forward he looks dead. Like he's not someone I'm trusted to go forward with the ball. But in terms of when he's in those defensive positions, getting the ball off the centre backs or creating space for whoever, Robbo or Trent or whatever, Badger's good at that. He's good at opening up his body, getting that pass off. Like he even looked like he was able to do long pass. I was like, he's been going to the gym, working out.
He don't want him spray out wide.
Yeah, I
I
see
know
him
we-
spray out the ball. I was like, right, okay,
I
cool.
know-
For
But
Salah, innit? He sprayed one onto Salah's foot. I was like, yeah.
When I look
I've
at
seen
number
that.
8 position,
that.
he can't do that right now, man.
I know we've done midfielder shows and that, but there's one player I didn't mention, and I mentioned him earlier in the chat, right? And I've watched him for about a year or two. Jerry and the missus will love this player, and if they get relegated, I think he's a nice fit for an.
Why do you keep going for relegated players, bro? Like, why can't we just sign
Every
a
year,
player?
every year he's come out this month.
Jefferson Lerma has very similar qualities to Wijnaldum. Not as good, so anyone don't shoot me down now. He's not as good, but he has very similar qualities. And I think even if we brought him in that 6 for Bajcetic to learn off, it wouldn't be that bad. But I hear what Jerry J's saying. We have to actually get the cream of the crop in that 6 role, because especially if we want to get to where we want to get to. But let's say our aim was just to let's say we get no takeover, and then the realistic aim is just to break into the top 4 again. I think a Jefferson Lerma will be perfect.
That's so crazy when I think about that. That's so crazy.
I'll tell you what, it's what I think Liverpool do. If Liverpool don't finish in the top 4, I think we can afford to have a smaller squad next season. It's going to be this is going to be a long. Like, a lot of people think we're going to be back next season. Put that to the back of your minds, guys. Yeah, what's going on?
Like, what does back mean? Like, where are you planning to go back to?
It's going to be a long. It's going to be a long transition. It's going to be 2 to 3 years for Liverpool get back where they were if we're under FSG. Under rich ownership, it'll go spend money. It could be done in 2 transfer windows, but it is going to take a while. And if we don't get in Champions League places, we can afford to have a smaller squad, right? And build slowly again, a bit like Arsenal did.
Jamie, even with a potential takeover, would you still?
No, if we get taken over, then if we get taken over, and they're willing to spend like Chelsea, then I want it done in 2 transfer windows. But in FSG, like if we're all serious here and thinking logically, under FSG, this ain't going to be done next season, is it? It's going to be a couple of years' time. So I look at it and think maybe Klopp's happy going for smaller squad next season, and concentrate on the Premier League, getting yourselves back into the top 4, because that'd be the most important thing to the ownership of this club and to Jurgen Klopp. It would be getting back into the top 4 of the Premier League. That's where Liverpool need to be. So go for a smaller squad, concentrate on Premier League only. Fans might not like this, but you got to think of it as, look, this football is not football anymore. This is what people have got to start remembering, right? Football is about who's the richest and who's the biggest now, right? And PSG are richer than Liverpool. They're not a bigger team than Liverpool, but they all have better players like Messi's and Mbappe's and all that because they're wealthy. We've got to stop thinking like the old days. Liverpool will want to be top 4. They want to be a Champions League team. So if that means sacking off the Europa League and forgetting about it and going out of that as quick as you can, and then playing 1 game a week to get into the top 4, Klopp will do that. And so that was what they want. So it'll be a longer transition to get back where we were. It's just the way we are at the moment. Now with Fabinho, I want him gone. I don't want him. I hate this. I've been hearing the last couple of days. Oh, look how good Fabinho looks with legs around him. I don't want that as my DM. I don't want my DM only to look good because he's got legs around him. I don't want that.
I agree.
I don't. Do all the top DMs in world football only look good because they got legs around them?
They are the legs. They do.
They are the legs. I don't want my DM being coasted through a season because he's got legs around him. That ain't good enough.
Yeah.
If that's what people are saying, then
when I'm looking,
he's 29.
Jamie, you're spot on.
He's 36 and he's Peruvian. We all know this.
Jamie, you're spot on. You're spot on.
It's a Nobby Solana and that man, bro. That's
when you're looking at the 3 arguable best DMs this season in Partey, Casemiro, and Rodri, they don't need legs. They're cleaning up everything by themselves. So you're spot on with what you just said.
Casemiro is older than Fabinho.
Bro, he is.
Yeah.
Ox is older than him as well, bro. Ox.
That's so brazy.
This is what they're telling me. This is what they're
and when you
telling
look
me.
at Casemiro, and this is what I say again. Listen, I blame Klopp for some of why Fabinho is like this, because the reality is when we look at Rodri, if we look at Casemiro, when we look at Partey, what all 3 of them, look how the way their teams have played. And in Casemiro's case, look at obviously the Real Madrid team and the style of play. Look how long they've been playing that kind of style of play of football. Why now that they're all getting into that prime kind of stage, and none of them look like they're kind of washed. Fabinho got to the top. When he got to the top, just like Liverpool did, he's come crashing down. Yeah, I'm trying to he's come crashing down with us like this season, and you can see that whole style of football. Hence the reason why I say Thiago, he would have been better served going to a different club because he's now shortened his career coming to Liverpool. Look at Fabinho. Fabinho is now looking shit at 29. Like he's gonna have to almost reinvent like himself in the next 2 years just so that people don't look at him and think, oh, this brother's washed. Like he's gonna have to actually go a next 2 years somewhere else and then come back. That's mad at 29. Yeah,
I was waiting for him, bro.
It is kind of mad, and I think that's why I say with Klopp's style again, and then we go back to Bajcetic just before I guess we move on. When I look at Bajcetic, I'm thinking, bro, you're going to 100%. Your career is either going to get blighted by injuries at some stage in time with Klopp and this tactic and this style of play, or you're just going to have a shorter career now because you know that it can't be sustained over a long period of time. And this is the problem. But I do then think that Bajcetic probably will reach a sick level, like for like a season or two, and we'll be like, yeah, he's the best DM and red-tear and blah, blah, blah. But then we all know what happens after that. And that's where these players are all having shorter careers and why we've got players at certain ages where you're like, rah, how are you this dead at this age when I'm seeing 37-year-olds, 36-year-olds running around, popping the ball like there's no tomorrow? But you're
all this sports science and everything as well. Like you shouldn't be
exactly.
going back to the 2000s where you hit 30.
Bro,
and it's like, like it's FIFA in it, career mode. You see 30 and you're like, you got to get a new.
You got to get. Yeah, it's like nah, man. Like I shouldn't see. Yes, I know Henderson's 30, whatever, and obviously because of the role that he needs to do in the team, I get why he looks odd and it doesn't really work. But then I'm looking at it thinking, nah, man, I can't lie. Even at that age, Benzema's all world class on that, and he's the same age. So why do you
KDB
in your
still running about?
Yeah, I'm trying to say like it just none of it really makes enough sense, but it is what it is, man.
Anyway, I know Jamie's got a head off, so listen, massive props for obviously you coming in as well. Let the people know you got the watch along to get to. So yeah.
The only game that matters, Man City Arsenal.
Oh yeah.
Let's face it, that's bigger than any Champions League game tonight, ain't it? So I think it's Chelsea, Bruce.
Dortmund, Chelsea, yeah.
And I'm going to go and do that.
Benfica, Bruges.
Yeah, and Benfica, Bruges.
Them kind of pictures there, boy.
So I'm going to go and do that, guys. Big up to everyone. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I love coming on here. Big up you guys. Make sure you subscribing.
Appreciate it.
Subscribe to Jerry. Big up, guys. I'll see you soon.
Take it easy. See you, Jamie. Yeah, big up. But look, great segue. We're going to get into it. I'm going to get into some of the stats. Guys, make sure we've had 90 people in the building for this whole time. So big up to everyone. Make sure we're smashing a like as well. And make sure we should have 90 likes to be fair. But hold on, let's see if this is up. I'm going to have to put it up. Hold on. I'm going to have to do it like this. I can't see.
Why are you such an expert on Arsenal, bro?
But you know what? Cool. Before we get into the stats, just chat to me about the average positions, G. Because obviously this is the player influence. So we're seeing players that had obviously a massive influence in the game. The names that are larger suggest that the players had bigger influence in the game. So more touches, more passes, etc. But it obviously shows the average position of the team. So looking at where the players were playing and what their role was. So chat to me about what you're seeing, man.
I think it's interesting, obviously, seeing Gakpo's position. A lot of talk about where he might play and, all of that kind of stuff. I'm not really sold on this false nine thing. I don't know, man. I feel like that's not really a position that under Klopp, in the way Klopp wants it done, like how Firmino did it. I don't think Gakpo could do that. Doesn't really press well. He is faster than a thing, so maybe he could potentially learn it. But Nunes obviously just a little bit ahead of him. Nunes obviously, that's quite weird that Nunes' kind of thing is smaller. I would have thought that'd be bigger, but fair enough. Trent, Robbo, 100%. They were. We said it before the game, Romz. I think we was talking about. We're saying if those two don't have a good game, then this game is already just going to be pissed from the jump. So I think when I look at those two key kind of figures, who's that in front of Fabinho? Is that a name?
Fabinho, that's Milner, and obviously that's subs as well. So we have obviously a couple of subs. Okay. So we see their position, but obviously it won't be as large.
They won't come up. Okay, fair enough. Again, the influence of the team, I think, was really mainly coming from our width. As we mentioned before, we weren't really creating that much, I don't think, in the game. I think, I don't remember that many chances that we carved them open. It was a very counter-attacking kind of display. Maybe that's something that we look at moving forward. We kept the ball, but Everton let us keep the ball. They were more than happy to just allow us to have it. You could see it even when our centre-backs, Gomez or Matip, had the ball. Sims weren't really pressing them. He would drop back into midfield and just kind of form a part of the the five, that was already in there. Like, they were happy to keep for us to keep the ball, because I felt like they probably thought, reality is, and it's exactly what happened. Cody spoke about it after the game. Liverpool ain't going to break you down like that. You know what I'm saying? We're not good at that. Like, we seem to be quite poor at breaking teams down. But they knew on the counter it could get sticky, and that's exactly what happened, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Hold on. We're going to get it up here. And Ish, chat to me about the stats, man, because obviously it's looking good in Liverpool's favour, man. Like, finally, we're looking at the stats, and it's just like, from an offensive standpoint, anyway. From an offensive standpoint, more so.
We look good. To what G was saying. Even though the stats look like we did dominate, but I felt like a lot of our play was just Everton were doing nothing with it. They weren't really getting it up to my man up top, and then we were just turning it over. I thought the midfield. Thought Henderson will get to the player bits as well, but I thought Henderson and Bajcetic were really good at turning the ball over, but they were keeping it simple as well. They were just getting it, one ball to Salah, one ball to Nunez. Gakpo was dropping in as well and was playing well in that sense. But I think a lot of it was just like, I didn't really see us having too much sustained pressure. It wasn't a one where they were penned in for large periods of the game and we were just having one chance, two chances, three chances. I felt like our chances were quite isolated. And it was more of us just kind of, we weren't pressing high. We weren't really pressing high. Hender was leading the press, but the rest of us weren't really pressing that high. It's sort of like a mid block, and we were just waiting for them to make a mistake on a ball, and we were quick to it. That's kind of something I'd like to see us do more going forward. I think, especially if we're gonna have this personnel to the end of the season, pretty much. We've kind of seen that we haven't got the players to keep doing this high octane press. Like, we're just getting picked off. So I'd rather see us adapt a little bit, do more of like a mid block, and then just try and hit teams on the counter. Because the likes of your Nunez's, the likes of your Salah's, that's when they're at their best, when they've not really got much time to think about their chances. They're just running with the ball and then trying to make something happen. So I'm happy in it. I'm happy that I've seen Klopp kind of tweak a little thing here and there, and it's just baby steps in it. Baby steps.
Yeah, like I've got Romz. Sorry, go on.
Just adding on to what G said, he made a very good point, because even though I predicted a 1-0 loss for us, I still always knew we would dominate. Because let's be honest, the majority of games even though we've not been good this season, we still do have more quality than majority of the teams we play. So majority of the games we do dominate. But word to what G said, even though we won, I'm looking back at it now. It's not like we created any clear-cut chances that we were continually carving them open. Like, you know when you get that feeling when you're on them and you keep carving them open, like, we're gonna get a goal. You never really knew when our goal was coming, and the way our two goals came was how we probably thought they would come, from counter attacks, from a set piece. Remember, I said I thought we would lose by a set piece goal, and
we almost did.
One. Do you know what I mean? So that's the only real way we was. Because G had a good point. For me, we had a lot of the ball, but in terms of clear-cut chances and an abundance of chances, I still think that's where we probably need to improve on, because I never thought we had any sustained pressure where we looked dangerous, if that makes sense. We had to sustain that possession phases where we were knocking the ball about, but in terms of actual clear-cut chances, G's right. Maybe the Gakpo one when he's played it into Darwin, he kind of hit it wide. The Bajcetic one where he's laid it off to Salah, but other than that, I can't think of a lot of. One thing we did do yesterday though, which I was noticing, we were shooting from range, and you don't know. I've been saying this for weeks on end. I like to see that, because you can't pass the ball into the net every single time. You have to shoot from range here and there. Nunez shot from range a couple of times. Salah did. Like, I like to see that, because that's kind of, I was going to say that's kind of gone out of our game recently, but then it never really has been. Even if you look at when we were in our pomp, Fabinho's goal against City where he points at the
No, there's a
time.
couple, but Klopp doesn't like it. Klopp
Yeah,
believes it's
no.
giving away
How many
possession,
times-
so we don't do it.
Exactly. And how many times, JJ, you're spot on that you've seen a player strike, it's hit Rose and Klopp's going mad. And it's like, bro, other managers kind of encourage that. Like, you know what? If you've got the ability to, you know what I mean? That's why if we get a James Ward-Prowse, it will.
Hey. When I saw man, I put my chest back in. When I saw man was playing, I put my chest back in a bit. I thought he was a young 25 in that still, young 25, 26. When I saw 28, I said, yo, no.
Do you think Romz, in what you were just saying there, do you think, like, and sorry, everyone really, the way that obviously, again, that we played there, because we weren't really able to carve them out, you see like a team like Newcastle, who we saw what they were like against Arsenal. Do you think that's going to be like, that's going to be an issue then, don't you think, in terms of trying to nullify, because Newcastle defensively, they're way better than Everton.
Best
defense in the league. Best defense in the league.
There you go. And I think they Newcastle, I feel like they're a team. They'll do it like, obviously, I thought Everton were going to do this, but Newcastle have been trained all season to do this. They don't really care about the scoring side, and they've got better quality going forward anyway. So I feel like we could get hurt regardless if we think that going to get up against Newcastle and playing this kind of counter-attacking football, I just don't feel like it's going to work, because I don't feel like Newcastle are going to come onto us like that.
The only thing is that, the only thing I was going to say is that it's at their ground, isn't it? Because it's at St James's Park, and their form has been a bit patchy.
But I still, we've gone to St James's Park before, and I feel like and this when Newcastle was shit, and I still feel like they're not, obviously they're way better now. They're not going to, Eddie Howe's clever, and I feel like he won't look at it like, because we're at home, I need to change it up so much, because at the end of the day, he's not done. He knows on the counter, come on, bro, like,
do you know what I
mean? We got the counter attack.
That's what I was going to say. I think, well, we're going to obviously do a whole preview for the game, but
I don't want to get into
it. Don't suit us in a way, because they're going to leave space. Because they're going to leave space. Because I actually think they're going to go gung ho. I know
Newcastle?
You think Newcastle go gung ho?
No,
they're going to go for it. I think they're going to go for it, bro.
Look at the last games they've had. Look at the last games they've had when they've had easier games. They've still come out.
They've been struggling for goals. They've been struggling for goals.
So they're not. I don't see them going gung ho.
They've drawn their last two, innit?
They drew against who they drew against on Saturday? Bournemouth.
And then I think it was West Ham the week before that.
You know what I'm saying?
They're not coming out at all.
I think they'll be happy to just sit and chill. Like,
you know,
remember, if they could catch us on the counter, if they could just go and get us on a set piece, which they're going to, because if we get the ball, we're going to go and play a high line. We're not going to go and drop off the derby. That's why
big ass pitch as well.
You know what?
I can't use the derby. I can't use the derby as a barometer to measure how the game was, because every team was going for it. Like, Sean Dyche doesn't normally go and play the way they're going with so many like forced long balls into space.
Because the crowd was up for it, the game was just going looking all mad. The game was just looking all mad.
You're right, JJ, because they're going to have one eye. They're not going to be fully concentrating on this game. Their first final in 20 years. They've got their eye on next weekend. So I don't think he's going to want them to play a high-exerted way. So you've actually got a point there. But I just thought, in the games I've seen them win, they look like a lot of their goals, they have been off counter. But I've seen them play a lot of possession-based goals and then break teams down. So that's what I thought.
Problem is they've got players like Bruno Guimaraes, they've got Longstaff that are just they're going to go and make those fouls, and
Bruno's not
going to be able to go and break.
Is he suspended? He's suspended.
Yeah. But what I mean is those types of players, they're not going to go like Burn plays like that. They're just going to go and foul you, but they'll foul you in a way that won't get carded, but it's going to stop you having the counter. Now, if you could do that to Liverpool, and that's the same. That's when I was looking at Everton, because we're looking here. If we go back to the stats, right? Hold on, here, they had just as many tackles almost, had more interceptions. Let me take that banner off so people can go and see as well. And they had more fouls, right? Mm-hmm. If they were clever in how they were tackling and intercepting, they would have dominated that midfield. It's in possession they were poor. But there were so many times they actually lost the ball, but they just couldn't handle it. They couldn't hold on to it. So they'd get the ball and then we'd win it back off them. And that's the type of game it was. If you could do that to Liverpool, but protect possession of the ball, which they're going to do better than Everton, then I think you're in for a problem. Yeah. You're in for a problem. We saw what Brighton did. Brighton beat us in terms of, out defensively, in terms of interceptions, tackles, possessions, and then they went and kept the ball, which meant we couldn't go and get it because we can't press the same way, and we're not going to be at Anfield.
That was our worst defeat of the season. They actually punched us up. They punched us up every way imaginable.
right.
Like, actually, Brian, it's actually horrendous, bro.
But you know what?
That was
Because you
worse
came
than the
up
Wolves
against
one.
a team who just kick ball. It wasn't even nothing to do about physicality, even though they've got it. There's nothing to do with that. And where we only have physicality and can't kick ball, bro, these men were just running. It come like Barcelona versus like Levante 09.
Do we
Like,
even
man,
have physicality? Like, on
I
paper,
don't know why Levante.
physicality.
Man said Revista de Liga, you know that game that's just on, and you're like, brother, I'm waiting for the Clasico, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was just like it was that kind
Had that
of
mad logo. Hey, you might kill it.
No, but literally, G, you're saying we have physicality. On paper, we do. But do we even have that? Do you know what I mean?
No. But I mean, like that. Our whole game, Liverpool cannot kick ball to save their lives. Our whole game is based around physicality. Like our physical act. Like look at the players that we've got. Bar maybe Diaz. The rest of them are the most stiffest guys I've ever met in my life. Salah, the whole with Nunez, Fabinho is another one, obviously as well, and Thiago. Outside of that, if you want to throw a Bajcetic, calm, but we're such a team that's
really
so,
techie like that.
Yeah, he's not techie like that, but he can do his thing maybe. Like I wouldn't trust him 5-side though. But like our team is based.
You would trust Bajcetic 5-side.
He can be something.
No, but if anything, I'd trust him over any man in our team.
What do you mean over? I'm definitely trusting him.
Our team's not the bar though. Our team's not the bar.
No, it's not. But I, for example, have gone and seen man up Bajcetic's back, yeah, and he's gone dropped the shoulder and done like the shimmy where he's got away from it.
He done one in the Everton game.
We're doing the shimmy thing now.
Listen, and Hendo's not doing that. Milner's not doing that.
No. I, of course, above them, obviously, because them men are Brexit. Like they're not going to be able to do.
Chainbow's not doing that. Curtis Jones ain't doing that. Even Elliot ain't doing that.
I think Curtis 5-side will be alright. Curtis 5-side will actually be decent.
No, he'll be good. No, he'll be good, but he's not doing that. That's what I'm trying to say. I think Bajcetic is very, very technical on the ball. I think he's very technical on the ball.
And he loves to receive under pressure, and you need that in five.
My problem with him is that he looks like he ain't got strength to go and pass the ball far. Like he's putting everything into that long pass, like everything. It's like, brother, I need it to be effortless. I need it to just be like clip. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know when that Solly.
And widen it up. The backlift is massive.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas
someone just
need a quick backlift. I need a quick backlift. Like, you know, when you see like Cook for Bournemouth, when he does that switch, it's like, all right, cool. This is easy. This is comfy for you. Like,
that's your type of baller, Jerry, isn't it?
That picture's tiny though. That Bournemouth picture's tiny. He's a baller, but that picture's bare small, bro. That compared to Anfield.
Yeah, it's true.
He was in the under-20s, I think, World Cup win. I think he was in.
Yeah, he was.
That's why I rate the Barcelona man. You see when the man used to spray that, I was like, right, you know, this picture's kind of.
Bro,
you've been to the
bar,
big, you know.
Yeah.
Big.
To be fair, it's so big that when they used to hit it, I used to think, you know what? I used to look at Messi when he used to switch it, and because the ball's traveling so slow, but it's not going slow. The pitch is so big, so it looks like it's traveling.
It looks like it's
actually going full speed.
And then you know when you see like Gerrard or Lampard hit it, and it goes, and he's just zooming. I was like, bro, these players ain't got no pace. I remember I went to the Newcastle, saw them play. I was like, these men.
Were you up in the gods as well?
I wasn't. I was comfy, you know. I was actually comfy. I had comfy seats.
I felt like me and the clouds of boys. Like it was crazy.
Bruv, that's what I was gonna say. I was headbutting clouds and shit, bruv. I've been in the nosebleed seats. It looks mad, bruv. It looks mad. It looks like you're just watching it on some like FIFA thing or something. It looks crazy.
But what simulation? That's simulation. Like.
Yeah,
it's there because you can see tactically how what's going on.
Tactic. That's what I meant because it's like a simulation. Yeah.
You know what you said though, Jerry. Just there, that's actually quite interesting because I didn't even think like that, but it's true. You used to think, if you're watching on TV, you used to think the way that them man at Barca were passing the ball, bro, how is no one intercepting this pass, bro? Like, surely someone in the 10 years it's going to take to hit the ground, someone will be able to intercept it. But you're right. It's just a clear case of the fact that they're hitting the ball so high, but they're hitting it from like 60, 70 yards. Like Messi's spraying it, Xavi, all of these, man. Like, I used to, that was a top rating, man. But yeah, Bajcetic definitely needs to pattern up with his passing stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Just looking at some of the stats as well before obviously we head off. We're looking here, and then finally we're seeing a team. And do you know what I mean? Most of our team are having shots, and it was like this earlier in the season. And yes, we were losing, but as of recent, we weren't getting any shots in. Like we were getting trucked on all the stats. So to see our front three topping the charts for obviously shots attempted, completed shots as well. Obviously Bajcetic being in there as well, making 4 of the 5 means that look.
JJ, the middle number shots on target, innit?
Yeah, and complete and total shots is the right. Yes, as we're seeing here, we're looking at passes again, topping the charts, which is really good to see. Joe Gomez, who had a he had a good game. Like, I'm not gonna. He had a good game. Very, very solid. Won everything in the air. Had a good performance. If he keeps up like that, I think he's going to start with Virg alongside. Yeah, he's going to start alongside Virg. I think John Matip drops to the bench. Trent, Fabinho, Robertson. The fact that they're getting on the ball means that we're starting to dominate, and we did dominate that game a bit more than we have done in the past. Attacking third passes, as you can see, people. Trent, Hendo, Fabinho, Bajcetic. I mean, we're being much more kind of forward thinking. I think Bajcetic having 10 out of 12 forward attacking third passes, and Fabinho having 11 out of 14, them being our deepest midfielders. I think that's a very, very good look. I know Ish is got a sour taste in his mouth by seeing Jordan Henderson with 11 out of 16.
I know what them passes look like, bro. I know what them passes look like. 14 of them are hoofs, so yeah.
But they made it to the man, though. They made it to the man, as you can see there, man. 11 out of 16. Can't complain, man. Let's look at Ish's face. Not even happy.
He hates it. He's resenting it.
Here, if we look at on the defensive side, though, and this is what I wanted to kind of talk about, which indicates to me that we need to take this game with a pinch of salt, but see how this pans out against the Newcastle, and then albeit against Real Madrid at Anfield, because ball recoveries. Idrissa Gueye, 13. Trent done really well, but we can see it's starting to even out a bit. And Everton went at their best, yet it's looking like, I mean, they've got more. They've got 3-2 of obviously the 5 players having the most ball recoveries in the game. Chances created, which is a bit worrying. As we said, we're not breaking down any teams. So we're catching teams on the break. We're able to go in and we've scored like that. But we're not creating enough chances. Iwobi, Vitaly Myolenko, and Dwight McNeil all up there in the charts. Like Cody Gakpo and Stefan Bajcetic, obviously, they created 2 chances each, which is good. It's a good sign from Bajcetic and Cody Gakpo because we wanted them to come good. But where is Salah? Where is Trent? Do you know what I mean? All this type of stuff. And Trent created 1, so we'll talk about it here. We're looking at crosses again, and this is what I mean. Look, Trent had a great game. Robertson had a great game. But a lot of it was just more intensity more than anything. Yeah. The quality wasn't really there. Trent had one cross reached its man, which was obviously the assist to Cody Gakpo. 11 of them were just non-existent. We've given possession away 11 times with those crosses. Robertson, one cross made it to its target. He's given away possession 4 other times. Dwight McNeil, Iwobi, all going and being a bit more productive in terms of their crosses. They just haven't got the quality, which is obviously, when you look at it, it's a problem. Look at tackles here again, and this is what I mean by defensively. If a Newcastle or a Real Madrid, who are going to be much more difficult, they're going to be a much more difficult team to break down. If they go and you can't go and beat them in this department, without the ball, you're going to struggle a lot because we're not going to have the ball a lot. So we're looking here, Idrissa Gueye, 5 out of 6 tackles. Trent, we got to big him up because defensively he was good. We spoke about that a lot in that game. That defensively he was actually very, very solid. Even though going forward, yes, he got the assist and that's all that matters. But 11-1 ratio isn't great. But this ratio of defensively, solid. Vitaly Myolenko, Seamus Coleman, Dwight McNeil, all solid in the tackles, all solid. So if they were better, if they just had better ball players on the pitch, or maybe if they just played better like they did against Arsenal, they could have potentially got a result. We have to remember, when you're at Anfield and the crowd are roaring everything up, it does sometimes feel like you're in the disparity between the 2 teams is actually bigger than it actually was. I don't think it was that big in actual when I watched it back. Interception again. This is what I'm talking about. Bajcetic, we got to Bajcetic because you can see he's doing everything right now. He's having to do everything in that midfield. But Myolenko, Gueye, Coleman, and Cody all having more interceptions than anyone else on the pitch. And then obviously fouls suffered, and this is really, really good to go and obviously see Gakpo. Obviously 4 fouls suffered. Which is really good. It means he's trying to get on the ball. He's created 2 chances as well, so that's really good. And we saw that one moment when he turned on the sixpence and then obviously drove through with the ball. And we saw a bit of that Dutch flavour from him, which before I wasn't seeing anything. Like it just looked like he was the second coming of Dirk Kuyt, and that was about it. Mo Salah, obviously, 4 offers.
Hey, loud Dirk Kuyt, bro.
Tom,
shit.
if Tom's watching, he's pulling his hair out right now.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah,
And Nana, Decore as well, obviously being fouled a lot. But Alisson, yeah, he got fouled a couple of times. He got Tarkovsky, Tarkovsky, and all of that. He's been getting dropped a lot recently. You know, like he's been getting.
Yeah,
dropped.
tell him to man up, bro. Tell him to man up, my guy.
He's getting dropped a lot.
Why are you getting dropped so much?
He's a big guy as well. That's
what I'm saying. Like, Alisson ain't some small little pitney. Like he's a bit of a big guy, bro. Like man up like a little bit. That's crazy.
Exactly.
That's mad.
Big up. Ravi saying we got 81 likes. Hold on. Saying big up. Don't make Jerry play the music for Romz and Ish. Come on, like up the video. That's it. Like up the video. Big up to everyone that's been tuning in. Subkir Sekon saying, look, our quality of crosses has been bad for a long time. Corners are bad as well. If we get them, that's true. Gary Richardson saying Robertson's shithousery was class.
Yeah,
it's so funny with shit.
Other fans hate him now.
But they've always hated him though.
He's been that guy.
He's been like that.
No, remember when he pushed down Messi's head? Like he's been on stuff for a minute. Bro.
But what's mad though? We talk about his shithousery, but we hate players that are shithouses themselves. Like
that's why I always love
a shithouse player. Like I'm someone that I love, but I love them both. So I like the fact that this
Rudiger.
Like this. So like Richarlison, Rudiger, all this. I like it. But I don't like it. That's my point. You man hate him. This is my point. But if it was a Liverpool fan, you'd be on your knees. You'd be on your knees like Klopp. And,
of course.
And Linders, bro.
You're doing all of that.
Yeah,
doing all that.
The jaws all stuck at him. I was just like, fist bumping. It's going to be looking crazy.
I think if they're your team, you don't care.
Someone did a tackle first 10 minutes and Klopp literally started fist pumping. Who was it again? They did a crunching. It was a crunching tackle first 10 minutes. On Monday, I can't remember who it was.
Bajcetic. I think it was Bajcetic.
Yeah, Bajcetic on someone.
I was going to say, I feel like it was him.
Yeah, it was Bajcetic. But yeah, so as you can see, people, obviously the stats are there and they're telling. And I think the story they've told, and which G summarized really early on, is look, it was a good game, but we've got to put a string of results together before we can use this game and look back on it and be like, look, this was the game of change because it was a derby. We did have a long time to prepare. The games are going to be coming thick and fast now. More likely to get injuries, more likely for players to be, they're not going to have time to recover from poor games. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens, man. But look, before we head out, G, Romz, Ish, anything you want to say in regards to the tactics, what players are saying, whatever?
I think, go Romz, please, go on.
I was going to say, just quickly, what I said at the start of the stream, like, and you lot are trying to collide on my spirit, but be happy for these next few days up until I would at least say maybe tomorrow, Friday. Like, enjoy the win because we don't win often. This is basically what I'm trying to say. Because we don't win often, just enjoy this one. Do you know what I mean? But don't get too carried away because if we now lose at St. James Park, we've now got Palace. We've got Palace, Real Madrid, and Newcastle, Real Madrid, and Palace. 2 of which are away from home. 3 games in a row. Like, kind of put a lid on it very soon because unless we get results in them other games, this derby just would have, no offense, and if you're from Mersey on here, big you up, but this derby just would have meant a lot for the people of Merseyside, but to us, it wouldn't have meant that much because we've not gained no momentum.
Hey, Romz, don't speak for me, bro. Like, I'm not with Romz.
G's probably got a trip with Bay up to Anfield, up to Liverpool. You know what I mean? There's a little nice staycation, and you're trying to get him set up. You know, like we're trying to get
what's going on?
G lad.
G Sports a man. I'm speaking for G right now, but yeah, just enjoy that win. But let's just come back down to earth because we got 3 tough games in a row. So yeah, but big up everyone that's tuned in and that.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Just obviously run through some of the comments before obviously we head out that we started earlier. Big up for everyone liking. Well, we're on 91 likes. If we get to 100 likes before we head out, that will be amazing. I know loads of you guys are getting ready for the big games. Obviously this evening in the Premier League and the Champions League.
God, it'd be nice to be involved in a big game, you know. God,
quick predictions. Quick predictions. Like quick fire. Like what are you not saying for this game?
Yeah,
for both games or
3-0 City.
City are slapping them up.
0-0.
I'm going 1-1. Yeah.
3-1.
Cool.
3-1 City.
No
number 5 either.
Yeah. Bassett. Bassett saying, what front 3 in prime? Mane, Firmino, Suarez, or Diaz, Torres, Salah? I'm taking the
Diaz
first
never
one.
makes any prime that we have.
I'm
Like,
taking
no.
it first.
When I see
one.
Suarez,
Word,
it's a wrap.
it's done.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Hold on.
It's a wrap.
Imagine swapping Suarez for Salah. Oh my god! In the season we won. Oh my god! I actually don't know how that works. You know, I think it's dumb.
It'd have to be like a diamond with just Mane and I put Mane and Suarez up top. And
Yeah,
from
you know
the
what?
behind.
it would have to, innit? Would have to, or maybe even play. I don't know, two and then one with Mane up top, just doing whatever he wants, and Suarez and Bobby just linking
Still,
up.
you
and
always ask
feeding
these
in.
kind of questions.
Whatever the combo is.
He always does these kind of questions. Got man thinking like. 'Cause in my mind, I thought, yeah, what Jerry said, but then Torres and Salah, I'm leaning more
And Diaz,
towards
and Luis
them
Diaz.
and Mane for me.
Oh, is it?
That one might have more
And
balance.
Liverpool.
That one might have more balance, but
I'm
I
not
still
gonna lie.
think,
I
but
think
when I'm seeing
I think-
Mane and Suarez and Prime Bobby, yeah, I'm taking
do
that.
it for me. I look at it, and it's like, look,
Bare
I
work.
could just do like prime. The way I see it is like prime Bobby over prime Diaz. I take prime Bobby. Prime Mane over prime Torres. I take prime Mane, and then prime Suarez over prime Salah. I take prime Suarez. So it's just easy, like for me. I
I hear it.
I know, but I know you love Salah. But listen, I know you got Salah's name.
No. Like, I still, when it comes to
Salah's
Suarez
name
and
on
stuff
the
like
back.
those two, you have to like Suarez is that's a whole next conversation. But
The minute for me it's done, it's not even the prime versus prime. Just the minute I see his name, whoever he's with, he could be a Voronin and fucking Ngog.
Yeah, it's true. I hear that.
man said Voronin and yo.
Minerals FC, big up to Minerals saying, big up the panel, bro. Get giddy, Merseyside derby. Where are your Klopp haters?
We here, bro.
We're right here.
We're here, my guy. You
You
know that.
That's it, live and direct, bro.
Live and direct in the flesh, baby. We here, man. Come on.
We got Ryan saying, big up my guys, big up to Ryan. We got Uncle Albert saying, Jerry, Trent came to fill in for Nat Klein, and that's how the legend began. He was a midfielder before. I think he can play that role. If we have a fullback behind him to clean up, he will be okay. No. Compare him and Kimmich.
I think
compare him. There's no, like right mid. maybe.
Okay, yeah. But I wasn't even going to compare that to Kimmich. Like.
But what I don't understand here is like, do people not see like back to goal having to turn your like it's difficult to do like that's why I'm rating Bajcetic. I don't think people understand playing back to goal, and having the ability to then face up play and play attacking passes. It's difficult. Trent never does that. Trent always his body's always open, so he can always see the pass before he's played it.
I think what JJ's saying is true, but Albert, even your next sentence or your last sentence should be the reason why you should know that he can't play that. Because why is the midfielder so worried about what my man behind?
You need a constant janitor. Like, do you know what I mean? You need like
literally like all the time. Like
clean up and now 37, and it's just
bro, like all the time. Like, nah, man. I don't see Casemiro saying, "Yo, where's Dalot or Wan-Bissaka?" Like, you think he cares? Like, he's doing his thing and he's all right. You think Partey's worrying about Ben White? As long as you do your thing, they were good. Bro, them man don't care about these guys. Like, they do their job, and I think that's why Trent can never do that.
Trent can't even scan, bro. His hair's all getting in his face and that. There's no way he's got his head on the
bro.
swivel, bro. There's no way man's got his head on the swivel.
Bro, we need to get a trim. I need to see that short back and face.
It's long.
He needs to do a Jerry.
Yeah, he needs to do a Jerry. Real talk.
Well, just cut everything up and start again.
Again.
Yeah, he might have to. Sterling's had to do it once. Remember Sterling done it, level 1.
Yeah.
No fade.
Why do you think Sterling always plays shit when he changes up his hair? Bro, just keep to your northwest trim. Like, you don't need to go all
Dexter Daps now, innit? Now he's got the Dexter Daps.
You see what I'm saying, bro? Just keep it northwest London and just do your short back and side. You're good, man. All of this is just ruining.
Ed saying, you lot need to stop hyping up Bad Chick because if you don't stop, watch Klopp. Tell you what, he doesn't need Bellingham or Mount or whatever because he's got him.
You're bad,
you never know. You never know. Aaron Tavares saying 18-year-old Bajcetic going to play with Pedro and Gavi in Spain in the future. Rodri's still about. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know about all of that, but I hear what he's saying though.
Romz obviously started an agenda now. Romz knows my ability and he's saying, look, Jerry Waters, we're getting Jerry Spearing. I'm too tall.
Jerry Waters. Yo, no, but Waters is all right though. He can score goals.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
He can
Oh,
jump
yeah.
forward.
He was Irish as well, isn't it? He played for
He
Ireland
played
as well.
it.
He was cut.
He bumped
Yeah.
a couple times.
Yeah, he did.
And he's got the strength. And you know what? That's not a bad compliment. It's not
The spirit one is wild. The spirit one is
I'm
wild.
doing
Yeah,
Spearing's up to my waistband. Like I'm too tall to be playing like Spearing. I ain't got the stride length to even be able to do what some of the stuff he was able to do. So, Uncle Albert saying, "Gee, you have a point, but Bajcetic is Pedro and Gavi like. Remember, Jude is only 19. Bajcetic is a come off the hour, come off the man player."
I think that's what I'm trying to say. Is like, look at Bellingham, and he's 1 year older, and then I look at Bajcetic, and I'm like, you're good, but if I can see Bellingham, and he's already better than 50 to 60% of the professionals that we see at big ages, and Bajcetic is not, and he doesn't look like he is either. Like he might get there, but he still looks like someone that might need a couple years. He looks like he'll be Bellingham's level today in like 3 years, and I'm just like, all right, cool. That's a bit mad, but fair enough.
Yeah, exactly, man. Michael Talks, big up Michael Talks. Appreciate the super chat. As always, we all appreciate it. That's going to go obviously towards the donation for the Ish Mic project, the Ish Microphone project.
I need that £2, you know, Jerry, bro.
Don't worry. Don't send me the words.
You ain't got to remind man like, yo, I need that 2 quid.
Man was at £2 for 2 packs of Riz. It's going to come back.
I was texting him, like, yo, Jerry, I wasn't joking, you know.
No, text me. What I'm saying, all man wants is this, just the 2 raws, isn't it? You just want to get the Rizzler, just 2 packs of raws. That's it. Man,
you know, you just
remind them. That ain't a pound anymore, bro. You haven't been Northwest recently, bro. That's like all like 129, 139 now, bro. It's mad.
You can get one and then a packet of chewing gum, innit, or whatever. You can get one and a packet of chewing gum, bro. Michael was saying we better sign Jude than sign Ugarte for 25 million. We better, but we're not going to do that. Andy, big up to Andy saying get Kante in as well for free as a cover.
Don't joke.
To be fair, I'd only get him if we were getting rid of like Milner and Henderson. I'd swap him out for one of them.
All right, how many games has he played this season? I don't know. How many games has he been out?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's where I look at him. Like,
but think about it. If he's going to be just a backup and not doing anything, having a player like that, why not? Obviously, he's injury prone as well.
This is how he got into this problem of having injury prone backup. When the backup man are injury prone, and the guy that starts, it's just like then you start looking at. That's how a man like Bajcetic even got on the team.
Jerry's thinking like Klopp now. He's moving like Klopp now, bro.
I have even my team lineups now, just all Klopp's lineups.
Well,
everything.
You were spot on with that. Kante on a free, I'm not with that, bro. I'm not with that.
Yeah. RJ saying obviously Klopp's interview afterwards was telling he was relieved beyond belief. You feel the exhale of a relief after a win. Yeah, those fist pumps look like he's about to start crying, bro. I was like, this brother knew if I'm losing this, it's over, bro. He knew it was over. He was gonna. I think he made the decision to himself. I think he looked Ula in the face and said, "Ula, just get the bags ready." You know, with the Love Island coupling up, and he's like, "I might be heading out tonight. I might be heading out." So the bag's already packed. So if you don't win this, I'm gonna be crying.
It might be you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It might be you. Big Six Band saying, large up the gang, bit up to Big Six Band. Make sure we're heading over there and subscribing. Saying, look, no party, hold that wrong.
I told you the prop stopped ages ago, Monch. You need to allow it. Stop the United game. I don't give them prop. Who are they? Bun them, man.
Hold up. We've got Klopp saying we are back, saying Stefan B saves us 80 million. We'll have to wait and see. Right. We'll have to wait and see. But look, man, stay tuned for tomorrow, people, because tomorrow we've got the Newcastle versus Liverpool preview as well. The game's on Saturday, isn't it? Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday 5:30.
Yeah, Saturday 5:30. I remember Saturday 5:30. Yeah, Saturday 5:30.
Under the lights, bro.
Rambo. Don't you remember Romz? We're supposed to go, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, but look, but we've got a special guest coming on as well that's going to be repping Newcastle, so stay tuned for that one, please. Make sure we're smashing a like, hitting the notification bell, following obviously the Equalizer on Instagram and Twitter, links in the description. GTV, as always, that the Bajcetic video has dropped now, so if you want a bigger kind of more in-depth review on Bajcetic and how we've been performing, head over there, and obviously Romz on the socials as always. But look, man, it's been the J James Show. Have a nice evening, and we're out, people. Take care.